Welcome, friends, to another exciting episode of A VGM Journey. And I'm your host, The Messenger. The track that we're playing in today's show is Rome from the game Asterix, and it was composed by Alberto Jose Gonzales. We got another fun show for you guys this week, and I decided that we're going to do a topic, and that topic is underrated NES music. And this topic mainly came up because I was getting some really cool NES tracks from a few different people, and it kind of led to a conversation in the VGM Journey Discord. And I think this is a good show topic, and I think that it would be really cool to go do. So let's kick things off with a request from Heat Override. He wanted me to play Forest Area from the game Snake's Revenge, and it was composed by Tsutomu Ogura. That track that you just heard, that was Forest Area from the game Snake's Revenge. It was composed by Tsutomu Ogura and requested by Heat Override. So thank you, Heat Override, for that request. Snake's Revenge is the non-canon sequel to the NES version of Metal Gear, and it was pretty infamous for being the Metal Gear game that Hideo Kojima had no involvement with. And that led to him making his own Metal Gear 2 on the MSX. And that this one, even though it has the stealth elements of the original Metal Gear, it's a bit more action-oriented, and that it was specifically made for the Western audience. And I even feel like the music is different in style, and that this is more in line with the classic Konami sound. I definitely get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibes from this track, and from my understanding, the game is actually pretty decent, and I feel as though it's been overlooked as inferior and not worth playing. So I want to say once again, Heat Override, thank you for that track. This next track is coming from Lee Tyrrell, the host of the Sound Test. And he wanted me to play this David Wise track from the game Time Lord, and it's called Research Center. So let's get that one a listen. That track that you just heard, that was Research Center from the game Time Lord. It was composed by David Wise, and it was requested by Lee Tyrrell. So thank you, Lee, for that request. Time Lord is in a pretty similar spot as Snake's Revenge, where it's kind of regarded as not a good game, but unlike Snake's Revenge, it actually isn't a good game. But I will say this soundtrack is really good. I mean, of course, because you got David Wise on the helm, and that guy is absolutely amazing. And I thought this track was really good too. I will say, Lee, be careful. Because if you own Time Lord, then you gotta watch out for the Legacy Music Hour guys, because they're trying to go around and collect every single copy of Time Lord and destroying it. I'm kinda kidding. But the game itself has a pretty interesting premise where aliens go back in time and you have to stop them, and that you have a time limit or else it would be game over. Which, from my doing my research on the game, you apparently have about 36 minutes to stop these aliens. Which, to be honest, that's totally not my kind of thing, but I'm sure it's pretty appealing to quite a handful of other people. Once again, Lee, thank you for that request. We're going to move on to one more request, this time coming from Hammock, the host of KVGM The Last Wave. And he wanted me to play this pretty cool track from Mezase Top Pro Green ni Kakeru Yume. I believe that's how that's pronounced. And this is the staff role, which it was composed by Atsuyoshi Isemura, Yuichiro Ohkawa, Suguru Ishida, and Yasuyuki Suzuki. That track that you just heard, that was Staff Roll from the game Mezase Top Pro Greeny Kakeru Yume, which, once again, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it was composed by Atsuyoshi Isemura, Yuichiro Ohkawa, Suguru Ishida, and Yasuyuki Suzuki. Oh, and this was also requested by Hammock, so thank you, Hammock, for that track. What is it with golf games and really good music? This is something I've asked myself for the last, I don't know how many years, since I started listening to VGM podcasts. So I never really had an interest in golf or golf games, so I wasn't listening to too many golf soundtracks. And it wasn't until I listened to the Legacy Music Hour when they discovered that golf music, it's got a lot of good music. And this track is no exception. I wish I could talk more about this game, because just looking at some gameplay, I mean, it looks like NES golf with some cool looking anime characters. And I guess if you just want to have a chill time, you could just play golf and listen to these cool tunes. And if you're ever in the Erie, Pennsylvania area, Hammock, we should totally meet up sometime and play a round of golf and listening to these really cool golf tracks. I promise it'll be a really good time. And I will also say thank you for that track as well. It was really good. I think it's time to move on to our next track. And I want to bring this track from Ducktales 2. This is Niagara Falls, and it was composed by Minae Fujii and Akihiro Akamatsu. That track that you just heard, that was Niagara Falls from the game Ducktales 2, and it was composed by Minae Fujii and Akihiro Akamatsu. And that's going to just about do it for the show this week. If you like what you've been listening to, have your friends check out the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever podcatching service that you could think of. I'm more than likely going to be on there. You can email the show at vgmjourney@yahoo.com, and you could also check us out on Twitter at vgmjourney. We're going to play things out with one more track, and I think this whole entire soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. And this is coming from Gimmick. The track is Good Weather, and it was composed by Masashi Kageyama. Have a good week, everyone.